Welcome back to the channel, it's 9, and today we have quite a bit to discuss. Greg Miller has touched up on what he meant with the 3 big reveals, pretty much throwing it out on the table exactly what he believes it to be. So we're going to go into that, and that will finally be solved in terms of the mystery. And then we're going to talk about a rumor regarding Naughty Dog and their new IP, The Last of Us 3, and Factions multiplayer. Now, before we get into that, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. Now, let's kick it off with the 2 things that Greg Miller was discussing. I will have a clip up for the first one being in regards to Sony's big acquisition.
The acquisition thing, that one is very difficult to pin down because people can get word on that stuff, but the people who really know are usually legally bound not to say anything. So we're probably getting secondhand information at best. And
that's the whole thing where people are like, Tim, is it big? Is it something else? Like, I don't. Yes. It could be whatever. Are you saying yes, it's big?
Well, I'm saying yes. I mean, I've heard it's big, but like what
I've heard a bit. Yes. Okay. So we're sharing information here.
Yes.
I've heard from 2 separate sources, and one of the sources being a pool of people that it's big.
Right.
That is really big. So it's like, okay, like I'm going to delay the show and put it out there to see if that happens this week.
So according to Greg Miller and Jeff Grubb, it seems that they have heard secondhand that there's going to be a big acquisition, and they really mean big by this. And so it makes you wonder what could be happening here, right? So it's important that we do take this as a rumor because they seem to not be 100% confident about it, given that it's coming from a secondhand source. But it is more than one person saying this, so that's why they seem to be more inclined to possibly believe this, so much so that Greg postponed his show. Now, I could see this being true because Sony has said on multiple occasions they are not done pursuing more acquisitions, and it makes you think, well, what could these acquisitions be? And a big one that stands out is Kojima Productions. But at the same time, I think Kojima wanted to be independent, and I don't think that would change. But the only way I could see him doing this is obviously money. And second thing would be that Sony has allowed him to stay very creative in what he wants to do and not have any control over what he wants to accomplish and the things that he wants to pursue. So that is a possibility. I could see Kojima Productions being a thing, especially since he is moving offices, which is peculiar. But it could also mean that the studio is expanding quite a lot. So it's up in the air. We're not sure. Another big one could be Arc System Works. I know a lot of people might not see this as a big deal, but Arc System Works creates some of the best fighters out there. And, them having Evo, this would line up pretty well with it as well. So it's not too far-fetched, but also it doesn't come off as like the big major thing that people seem to be saying. Like, because for me, when I hear big acquisition, I'm thinking like a Kojima Productions or something even bigger than that, right? So I don't know if Arc System Works is that thing, but it's possible, and I could see how that would tie in with their other acquisitions that they've made in the past, so Evo, for example. Now, Greg also does touch up on one of the 3 rumored reveals that did not come true. I'll play the clip.
So number 1, there was that, which again, like, it was just finally happening. Number 2 was a PlayStation VR 2 thing, and it was all smoke and mirrors. That was not actually a thing at all. That like I was talking on Monday when I came on the show with you and Bless, right? That was the one where I had my inklings. I had this thing, and there's I don't want to give away. There's something that can happen that gives away certain information, and that's what this seemed to be. It did not turn out to be anything, and that's why that went away.
Greg confirms that this was supposed to be in regards to PSVR 2, but it did not end up being anything in the end. So that leaves us with 2 reveals, that being Spartacus, which has already happened, and the second one being an acquisition. But we don't know that that's actually going to happen this week. That could very well happen next week, or the week after that, or whenever it decides to happen. So that's it. That's all. We finally know the answers to the 3 rumored reveals that at least that Greg was believing was going to happen. So that gives us the information that we need for that specific thing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens into the future. I'm sure we're going to find out soon if it is going to happen. I mean, surely within a month or so. But then again, it could also happen later than that. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Next up, I want to talk to you guys about this new Naughty Dog dump of information, right? So this comes from Oops Leaks on Twitter. But before we even get into that, we need to know who Oops Leaks is, right? So just before I give this information to you, I want you to understand what kind of leaker this is. So they have leaked BioShock and its information, and it did line up with a major voice in gaming, Colin Moriarty. Other than that, Oops Leaks is technically unproven. So keep that in mind with everything I'm about to tell you. So they say The Last of Us has a game coming out. So the multiplayer game, obviously, that's the one that we know about, and everyone and their grandfather knows about this. And they say originally planned as a battle royale, but rebooted Mix of Tarkov and Division with factions-inspired multiplayer modes. Single-player-like experience in online game. Free to play, first on PS5, then on PC later. This is believable, but at the same time, I feel like it's nothing groundbreaking. We could have all assumed this, so that's why I'm a little bit skeptical on this side of things. Next thing, they talk about them developing a new IP, and they say that it's a single-player game. Neil Druckmann is not involved. It's a fantasy setting, which I believe relates to the concept art that we got back a while ago that looked like fantasy setting, obviously, and then it's currently in full production. So that's what they've given us on the new IP. Again, not concrete, and honestly, another thing that could be assumed. So that's another thing that I would take heavily as a rumor. I'm questioning it myself, as we know that Jason Schreier recently, I think it was 2021, he leaked that they are working on The Last of Us remake. And then he touches up on The Last of Us 3, which says outline of the script is ready, working on other projects for now, could start development much sooner with expansion of the studio. The outline of the script being ready, we already knew that. And they state that in the tweet that this is information we already know, so this isn't a shocker to us. But what I find peculiar is there's no mention of The Last of Us remake in here, and if we are correct in believing Jason Schreier, then The Last of Us remake should be in development, as well as the multiplayer factions game, and I just don't know that I could see Naughty Dog working on a brand new IP in full production at the same time. So that's what's making me question this entire leak, or alleged leak we should call it, and I think that alone is going to make me be very skeptical of this altogether, and probably Oops Leaks is further leaks going into the future. But I did want to deliver that information because they did talk about BioShock. It lined up with Colin, and therefore it made me believe that maybe they've got some information. But from the sounds of it, a lot of this is probably just educated guesses, or, based on the information that we already have out there. So, in my opinion, maybe you can take the factions multiplayer game as something, but other than that, I think it's all up in the air and a lot of guesswork. So that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think Sony could be looking to acquire? How do you feel about this alleged leak on Naughty Dog, their new IP, The Last of Us 3, and the factions multiplayer game? Do you think any of this is true? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description. And share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.